Okay, great. You are live. Just hopped off a wonderful Zoom with our Juice Plus and Tower Garden community, and it's an amazing community. If you are really looking for a community with like-minded people, then I definitely encourage you to join us. Um, okay, so today we're gonna talk about the power of the dark moon. I'm just gonna check if I'm live everywhere. I'm gonna hit live on Instagram as well. Okay, wonderful. We are live on Instagram as well. We're live in the Power of the Moon group um, and on YouTube. And if you don't know StreamYard yet, I definitely encourage you to use it because it's so easy. With StreamYard, you can share two platforms, different platforms, three platforms, and it's really great. Okay, so why am I talking about dark moon phase? Everybody loves to talk about full moon and new moon, but I know that it's really, really important to talk also about the dark moon phase because that's where most of the healing happens. And I'm going to share my screen in a minute just to let you know that all this information, even more information, including the slides, which I'm going to share, are going to be in my course on Udemy, which is called The Power of the Moon. And the Power of the Moon course is for everybody who wants to work with the moon in their daily life, okay? Because we know that as a cyclical being, okay, we are part of nature, okay? In nature, nothing happens 24/7. Nature has time for everything, everything gets done. Um, and you can really use the power of the moon in your life to create your reality because we are all creators of our own reality. So I'm going to share the screen right now, just quickly checking if everything works well. Okay, wonderful. So, dark moon is a very interesting phase because, as I said, everybody talks about new moon and full moon, but hold on, okay, but the dark moon really is the phase where we can uncover the secret of moon's mysteriousness because the dark phase is all about healing, regeneration, and I'm going to talk much more about that. And again, you don't have to take notes or anything. This is all in the Power of the Moon course on Udemy, and Udemy is running sales all the time. I'm going to put a link under this webinar so you can check out the course. There is some free previews, so you're going to find out if it's really something for you, but I definitely encourage you to start working with the moon on a daily basis. So dark moon phase is really 3 days. You are starting with the dark moon phase today because the new moon, we're going to have new moon in Pisces on Saturday, on the 10th. So we are now entering the dark moon phase, okay? Waning moon phase goes to the dark moon phase. So it's really the time where we don't see the moon in the sky. And it's all about healing. And the earliest people really knew that the power of life uh, lies in the darkness. Okay. But unfortunately, after thousands and thousands of years, humanity forgot this truth. Okay. We began to fear the power of the darkness because we associated, and we still often do now, we associate darkness with death, destruction, okay, evil, even. But the dark moon phase has its purpose, okay? It's really time of retreat, of healing, of dreaming the future. So imagine, like, as a gardener, when I plant a seed, the seed has to be in a darkness for a while to be able to grow then. Okay, so it's really you're planting the seeds in the dark moon phase before the new moon phase happens. Okay, so this is really, really important to understand, um, that the dark moon phase is really very important phase. Okay, so as I said, our culture, unfortunately, symbolize for our culture, nowadays culture, the dark symbolizes fears of aging, death, illness, dying. Okay, it also covers uh, our secret memories, traumas, and we really have to dig deep and take those traumas and put them on the light. Okay. And in the ancient time, based on the correlation between the 29 days of the moon cycle and the 29 days of women's menstrual cycles, the ancients personified the moon as the great goddess, okay? Because moon is changing the shape, okay? Or what we see from Earth is changing, okay? Moon stays the same, of course, but different, we see the moon in different phases. And the moon goddess in her bright phase is like all about fertility. But in the dark phase, which we don't talk as often about, in the dark phase, she is the crone. Okay, she can have destructive powers, and we're going to talk about the moon goddesses or the dark goddesses. And you're going to see this in their representations and in their stories. Okay. But the ancients understood that during that menstrual time, and this applies to women even if they are not, if they are in menopause. And again, I'm going to talk about it later. They understood that during the menstrual time, that's the women's most powerful time. Okay. Because it's the time when her psychic and spiritual energies are most highly sensitized. Okay. And that was the reason why in the ancient times, women retired to menstrual huts, and they commuted. Okay. They were in community, and they talked and talked, meditated, and prayed, and had rituals in order to seek healing and truth. But unfortunately, with the rise of solar gods and male god cultures, women continued to be separated. But now it wasn't because they were holy, but because men feared all those powers that came during this time of the month. Okay. And menstruating women became taboo in many cultures. And unfortunately, we still can see that in many cultures where menstruating women are barred from religious ceremonies. And when we look at women's cycle on this earth, menopause can be considered as a dark moon phase, okay, of women's sexual life cycle. And in ancient cultures, again, they looked at women in menopause or after menopause as healers, seers, magicians, crones, wise women. Okay, but today's culture worships youth, and as I mentioned, they're afraid. We are afraid of that destruction, and we became to be afraid of all those dark goddess energies, which I'm gonna be talking about. So let's look at the archetype of the dark goddess, because the dark goddess represents all those energies that patriarchy started to despise in women. Okay, because if we step into our power, then we feel strong, assertive, and psychic, prophetic, creative, sexual, unrestrained, free. But all these aspects of women's nature was really rejected by patriarchal culture. And it's not to say that patriarchal culture, some authors believe that it was an important step in our evolution, and it's up to you what you believe. It might be that it was an important step in our evolution, but I feel that we are beyond that, of course. And I'm doing this webinar during the dark moon, and also tomorrow we have the International Women's Day, which is also about equality. So really, I look forward to hearing more women speak about these dark goddess energies and aspects, okay, of women's nature, because it can really heal the society if we begin to accept also these dark aspects of us as women. Okay, so the dark goddess really in modern society embodies all the feminine qualities that have come to intimidate men in patriarchal culture, because this is the wild feminine. Okay, we hear so many people talk about the dark feminine, but not in a negative way. Okay, I'm gonna rush quickly through this slide, and again, you have all these slides in the Power of the Moon course. But I just want to point out a very important thing, that we need to start working with dark goddesses, because they are mistresses of transformation. Okay, because if we are not aware of this energy, then the dark goddess can come as a tempest. You know, it can come as depression, despair. Okay, and I'm going to talk about Lilith story, because the Lilith story still is very alive today. And if you haven't heard of it, it's going to blow your mind, because there are so many things which we can connect between Lilith's story and women's rights, actually, in today's culture. So Lilith is not the only goddess, which is a dark goddess. Okay, dark goddesses have different names in different lands. Kali, I'm sure you've heard of Kali if you're working with, if you're doing shadow work. Kali in India, Hecate. I'm gonna talk a little bit about about her, because Hecate and Lilith are two dark goddesses that I work with in my practice. But there are many others. Okay, Ereshkigal, Morgana, Hel. Okay, there are so many. Even Medusa in Greek mythology. And Medusa is very interesting because we've been told the myth that Medusa with serpents around her head is cut by Perseus, and it is a wonderful representation about how male culture was afraid of the dark feminine because the serpents represent wisdom, actually. Okay, and we learn from the Bible that serpent represents something else. So it's really, really important to look at all those stories. For me as a historian, I'm fascinated by all the mythology. And we know that if we know history, we know the future. So let's look at the dark goddesses and their stories. But before that, um, if you know, if you never like took history classes or archaeology, um, you know, maybe or not, that we have archaeological artifacts that prove that people revered um, goddesses, okay, feminine energy, because we have archaeologic statues, okay, old statues that emphasize the feminine, uh, the feminine side, okay, the breast, the belly, okay, of the female body. So this proves that the birth giving, life sustaining powers were very, very important in the Asian cultures, of course, because our ancestors wanted to have a fertile land. Okay, so they did rituals that were supposed to make the land more fertile. Okay, so, and this is so much information, I know that, but I just love talking about this. So, yeah, I hope we still are alive because yeah, I'm just going to continue and check if it's working. Okay, so let's look at Hecate. Hecate and Lilith are my favorite goddesses. I work with them during the time of dark moon, and again, if you joined later, dark moon, we are now in the period of the dark moon, which is just before the new moon. And people often talk only about new moon and full moon, but I feel that the dark moon period is really, really important. Okay. So, Hecate is, and you can see behind me the representation of the triple goddess. Okay. The triple goddess is, and we see this in many, many cultures. In Greek mythology, Artemis or Diana in Roman mythology is the virgin. Okay, Persephone is the nymph, the mother. Hecate is the crone, or Demeter and Persephone is the mother, and Hecate is the crone. Okay, this is really about different parts of different cycles of women's life. Unfortunately, during the like in nowadays culture, we worship only the part of the virgin, okay, the youth, we are afraid even of the fertile phase um, of the triple goddess, and we are even more afraid of the crone stage. Okay, so it's really, really important to, and I'm going to talk how to work. I try to keep these webinars to 30 minutes, but this is so important that maybe we're going to go over. So Hecate, just to let you know, and you can go deep into this. And if you want to know more information, stay until the end. I'm going to share some books which you can read. Hecate is really the torchbearer. Okay, so she shines the light on our way. Okay, she is known as also as somebody who is taking care of children. Okay, but also is queen of the underworld. So there are many, many things, and Hecate is older than most of the goddesses. Okay, so if you really want to dive deep into this, this is Greek mythology, and very interesting. But let's go to Lilith, because this is very, very interesting story, and if you've never heard of it, you're gonna be mind blown. Because if you took classes at school or Sunday school, everybody was talking only about Eve as being the first woman. Okay, but there was another one. There was Lilith, who was created as equal with Adam. Okay, this story is very, very old. It first emerges in ancient Sumeria. Okay, and then in Hebraic mythology, she's the first wife of Eden. Again, she was created equal. Okay, and they lived together in the Garden of Eden. Okay, they gave things their names and so on, but they had a very difficult time together because Adam thought that he's more important, and Lilith refused to be under him during the sexual intercourse, for example. Okay, she didn't want to submit to his power. Adam thought that he's superior, okay, because he was created from pure dust, and she was inferior because she came from filth. Okay. After some time, Lilith realized that Adam was never going to accept her as valid. Okay. So she disappeared, vanished into the air. And Adam complained to God that her wife had deserted him. Okay, so God sent 3 angels with difficult names to capture Lilith, but Lilith didn't want to go back. Okay, she didn't want to return to her husband because she knew that she is not viewed as equal. And this is such an important story, even for these times, because how many women don't have do have the feeling that they are not created equal. Okay, she rather choose a lifetime of exile in the desert instead of going back to Adam. Adam, of course, was disappointed, asked God to create another woman. God took a rib from Adam's side and turned it into Eve. So now Eve was created from Adam, which is an allegory of being inferior, okay, to man. And Eve was submissive, okay, and did everything what Adam asked her to do. And then came the story with the apple and so on. But the part of this is very important because when the patriarchs wrote the Bible, they didn't want to give a word, okay, give the world a model of wife who demanded equality. So they removed the story of Lilith from the Bible. And all we were left with was the story of Eve as first women, blah, 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 and so on. Why is this important? Okay, because if we want to have equality in this world, sometimes we have to leave from situations that don't serve us very well. And now, if you're still watching this, or if you're watching this on replay, then I definitely encourage you to grab a pen, because I'm going to walk you through uh, working with the dark goddess through the zodiac. This is wonderful shadow work from the book Black Moon Lilith Rising. Definitely encourage you to get the book, and you're gonna have the book later. I'm gonna share a little bit what books to read if you want to work with dark goddesses, and if you want to do shadow work. Really, really important again. Black Moon Lilith is an asteroid, and is also a point in heaven known as lunar apogee. And if you want to really look where in your chart Black Moon Lilith is, it can show you and explain a lot about how you show up in this world. For example, for me, Lilith is in the sign of Virgo, and it's in my 11th house, which is the house of community, friends, and so on. So it's about speaking my truth, and nothing but truth in my community. That's why I'm so happy that I found a community where I can speak my truth, because the Black Moon Lilith can be a problem depending on where it shows up in your chart. That if somebody doesn't accept, if it's in the 11th house, if your community doesn't expect your authenticity or how you speak up, then it might be a problem. Okay, so when you want to do shadow work, I strongly encourage you to start with mirror work. And mirror work is something which is in known also in eating psychology. I'm a certified eating psychology coach, and we use mirror work in weight loss, for example. Okay, because weight loss for so many women is only about lack of self-love, and mirror work helps us. It's a really effective method for learning how to love yourself, okay, without judgment. See the world as safe and loving place, because as you learn to do mirror work, you will become much more aware of the world, of the words you say to yourself. Because how many times you said to yourself words which you would never say to a friend. Okay, so you start every night, because this is performed during the 13 nights of waning moon leading to the new moon. Okay, so 13 nights, and you're going to use these journal prompts for the 13 nights. This is really worked through the zodiac signs. So we go from Aries to Aquarius, and we know that Aries is self. Okay, so the first journal prompt would be, what self-limiting beliefs are you holding on to? Okay, can you show up in a more honest way? For the second night, again, start with 10 minutes of mirror work, and write journal or answer the journal prompt. Where in your life do you accept less than you expect to? Okay, and this can be in different parts of your life. Maybe you're an entrepreneur and maybe you don't want to ask for too much money, you know, if you're a coach, for example. So this is a very interesting work. Third night, what are the top 5 negative phrases that come up when you're doing mirror work? Okay, why do you believe what you're saying to yourself? Who are the people who tell you those things? Okay, why are these people still in your life? And we go deeper and deeper during the nights. And again, if you want to do private coaching, I am doing also private sessions, so definitely reach out. Fourth night, what or who drains your energy? Okay, what lights you up? Fifth night, what was a moment in recent past when you felt triggered? How did you deal with it? Okay, and then we go again deeper and deeper. What type of life aligns with your soul? So, what would your ideal day look like? What does a balanced relationship look like for you? This is the zodiac sign of Libra. We know that Libra is about balance, also in relationship. Eighth night, what is your purpose in life? What does not support this path? Ninth night, what were the five most important insights you received so far? Okay, what goals have you not yet achieved? This is Capricorn. Why do you judge yourself for it? And then as we go to Aquarius, we know that now Pluto is in Aquarius. It's going to be all about community. How can your purpose help something greater? How can you help the community? Okay, how can you be of service to others? And the 12th and 13th night, we don't do mirror work, but we reflect. Okay, so we reflect on what are the five things you manifested so far. And I'm gonna have webinar also with my good friend Andy, who has a class on manifesting with synchronicity. That's going to be very interesting. So I definitely encourage you to join that as well, or watch the replay, because we can manifest your and mine. You can manifest your reality. And then 39, the last night, really reflect on your journal entries. And if there's still something that's triggering you, then again, work with that. Again, this is just an idea how you can work with the waning moon and dark moon phase to really evolve from the anger and depression that comes with living 6,000 years in patriarchal society, how to evolve from anger and depression into activism. So really doing something that lights you up and that serves humanity, support other women. I loved, just today my husband told me that as like tomorrow is International Women's Day, then they're gonna have only women present on their Friday meeting. Okay, so these are such simple steps which you can do. If you work in an office, how you can daily support women in your circle. If you're working with a community of women, how can you support women in your community? It starts small, but it has really a huge impact on society as a whole. And last page really is about books that I definitely recommend to read. You can work with Lilith or Hecate. You can work. You can dive deep into the history of patriarchy and matriarchal societies. In the book When God Was a Woman, which is a very interesting book from the historical point of view. And again, there are so many rituals which you can do when it comes to working with the dark goddess. Okay, so keeping it short, I hope you learned something new today. If you learned something new, then definitely reach out or share this video. I'm sure that so many women nowadays need this information, because unfortunately we still have inequality when it comes to work place and inequality when it comes to paying women what they're. Thank you. Somebody just wrote that she's listening, and it's wonderful. Really share this information. I'm gonna share YouTube. The YouTube link also on my blog, Mind Body Moon Coaching. And again, I encourage you to support women during like your life every day, not only on the International Women's Day tomorrow, with simple, very simple uh, things. Just when you meet a woman, tell her how beautiful she is. It really lights up everyone's day. If somebody has a birthday, send them a birthday message. Okay, so really these are really, really simple things, but it can really change the whole society. Okay, thanks for being here today, and I'm going to see you again next time. Have a beautiful celebration of the new moon. We have the new moon in Pisces, which is all about the dreams. So if you have some dreams, then put them down, journal about them, and I'm going to see you again next time. Okay. Thanks for being here. Take care, everyone. Bye.